I forgot to unmute myself. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the October Stamp and Craft. Today, we're going to be creating two cards, one with the October card kit, and then a second card, a bonus card with the layering stencil. So this is the layering stencils. This is the October card kit. Two really fun cards. Oh, I'm going to pop over to the comments real quick. There we go. Oh, yes, it is a busy weekend for me. Busy for you too, Mindy, I see. I'm sure you're working on videos. Hi, Linda. Hello, Mary. Hello, Lisa. Welcome, welcome. So these cards actually, I think, are going to come together fairly quickly, which is unusual for me, but I still think there's some fun things, especially with the layering stencil. There's going to be some fun things in this one that I'm going to demo. And then for this card too, we're going to do a little bit of mass producing. I'm going to use a jig because there's a lot of die cuts in this background, but I already have everything die cut, so that should go pretty fast. And then we're just going to add some depth to these die cuts with some simple ink blending and some little gel pen highlights, just some little things here and there, which just made me realize I forgot to get some of my blending brushes. So I'll have to do that. All right, so let me change screens here and let's get started. Before I go though, real quick, I do want to note that if this is your first time watching a Stamp and Craft, we always have the instructions and supply list for this live up on our Hero Arts blog a few days before the live. So that gives you a little bit of time to kind of read the instructions if you want, even though I do everything in the live to create the cards. But it also shows you the supply list, so you can actually grab this stuff. And if you happen to have the products, create along with me or create along with me with different products. I love either, or you just want to hang out. That's awesome too. All right, I'm going to change my view here. Let's go over to the top. All right, that's our two cards we're creating today. Excuse me, I take a little sip. Hi, Rosie. Running from IG to YouTube. I know. It's been a busy, busy weekend. All right, let's start with the card kit card, which is this one right here. And I'm going to hold it up to the cameras and get a little bit better view. So really fun, lots of greenery or pine sprigs in the background. So we're going to do a little mass producing for that. One other fun thing about this card, and I think sometimes people forget, I forget it myself, is you can actually heat emboss on top of your mirrored cardstock. So I think that's a really cool thing that you can do it's a little bit of a surprise element, and it creates this really cool look, very shiny, but with detail from the stamp. So very fun. Thank you, Rosie. Rosie, I loved your, Rosie just shared a card, I think this morning, where she made a wreath with the Christmas light die. That was the October die of the month. And it turned out so good, Rosie. I love it. Hello, welcome. All right, let's get started with all that greenery sprigs there. I'm going to grab my Misty. All the cardstocks I'm using all the cardstocks I used on this card are included in the card kit. So that's nice. And let's grab the pine. We need the October card kit and the pine cardstock. I'm going to use a big one. I really don't need it though. Let me see if I have a smaller panel. I do. Okay, I'm going to use a smaller panel of pine instead. Rosie said, wow, you made it just yesterday? Late last night, used the fancy die and cling subscription. Awesome. Thank you. It's such a pretty background. I love the background kit. You do have to bust out your kit. You really do. It's such a good one. This one was a lot of fun to play with and a little bit different. And I have to admit, a little outside of my element, out of my comfort zone. I'm much more comfortable working with like straightforward images. These were more like design elements. So that was a little trickier for me to kind of wrap my head around. And once I started like experimenting and laying things on top of other things and, you know, combining them in unique ways, and especially when I saw some of the creativity from the creative team, that gave me even more ideas. I was like, oh, there's really so much you can do with this. just used to really straightforward pictures. So I always love thinking, you know, getting myself to start thinking outside the box. All right, so I've grabbed the 2 sprigs, and I'm going to stamp them in pine ink. And I did recently re-ink this, so this guy should be pretty good. There we go. Stamp him a couple of times. And I'm going to create a quick jig for this because it's just going to make stamping all of these greenery pieces so much faster. There are, I used 14, so 7 of each to create that wreath. Yes, the green in the kit is fern. I'm trying to remember all the colors. I don't think there's any other green. Yeah, there's only the fern. And it's a great, it's the Spellbinder's darkest green, and it's really pretty. I love me some greens. No problem. All right, I think I'm gonna do one more time and that'll be done. And I'll die cut these out. So I'm actually gonna turn this into my jig. Okay, I think that looks good. I do stamp it several times. One, it makes it nice and crisp, but also we're making that pine as almost as dark as it can possibly get, which is important because we're going to do a little ink blending on these pine sprigs to make them a little bit more dimensional. And we're going to ink blend with pine. So same ink, but use 2 different ways. And we want still to have plenty of contrast between the ombre blend we do and the stamping. All right, let me grab the dies here. Here they are. I'm gonna put that in my back. Just before I started this live, I couldn't believe it. V was up back here on the back of my chair. It had nothing to do with me, though. V is very much like your stereotypical cat, where she doesn't really care. Like, I exist in her space. She works around me. But my other kitties, my 2 other kitties, I have 3 cats, so yes, I have a lot of cats. My other 2 kitties are very lovey-dovey. V is just not that way. She's very much like doing her own thing. And I'm just sometimes our 2 spaces collide, but not really because she wants to. She doesn't like pets, which is so funny to me. I never had a cat who didn't like pets. Like, she literally just doesn't want us to touch her. She doesn't get mean or anything. She just kind of is like, ew, and goes away. It's really different. All my cats I've had, and I've had several through my years, have at least enjoyed like a specific kind of pet if they weren't like very lovey-dovey. V, on the other hand, I haven't quite figured her out yet. But she's also young and still, you know, play. You know, she just wants to kind of do her own thing. I think when she gets a little older, she'll be more cuddly. Oh, good. I didn't remove the stamps. That's the most important thing. I got kind of distracted about telling my story. And I luckily did not remove them. Look at how good they look just stamped on the fern. So cute. All right. And there we go. And you know what? Those of you who did the yesterday, we had our big Hero Arts Handmade Holiday Workshop event, and my class, which you guys will know since you guys are my Stamp and Craft people, you know I take a long time to do stuff. I went way over time and still didn't finish. So this morning, I actually filmed the whole make of the card that I didn't quite finish. And now I got to edit that video to share. But I think it will be very helpful. So I'm excited that I got that done. Squeeze that in this morning. All right. You know, I think these are going to stay. I think these will stay in place. Actually, this guy's probably going to pop out. So I'm going to use I've got some scrap paper here. And before I add the tape to it to make it sticky, I just want to make this scrap paper sticky. I'm going to place it behind, and I want it to be sticky here so the die cut's kind of staying in place a little bit. But because of it's going to be helpful that they stay in place, it will make it more difficult for me to remove them after I've stamped them. So that's where I'm going to make a little slit. So cut a couple like little slits or little notches out of each one of these die cuts, like so. Cut like a little notch. Do one over here. And that'll just make it easier for me to kind of pop these die cuts out. And then we'll be in factory mode. We can just start making a bunch. And I do have all my die cuts here ready to go. Let's add some tape. That's probably all I need, that little bit of tape. I want to make sure that this goes right into the corner. That's really important. So I'm going to use the corner of the MISTI to help me hopefully get that lined up. Great. All right. We are ready to stamp a bunch of sprigs. Let's pop these in there, those die cuts. There we go. Of course, you don't have to do this jig method. You don't have to, you could stamp them all one by one. I just think this saves a little bit of time. Hello, Ruby. Good morning. Welcome. I guess it's technically afternoon, isn't it? Feels still like morning. Had a kind of a slow start this morning, but still got a lot done, so I'm happy about that. All right, we're going to stamp these again in that pine. Let's make some room here. There we go. And I'm going to take another sip of my water. Whew. I'm getting hot again. Cold water really helps. Yeah, it helped me a lot. That helped me a lot, Crafts on the Move, when I mass produced for like shows and things like that. When I'm kitting for shows, that notch made it just so much more efficient. And look at that. They're staying in there beautifully. They're not popping out and sticking to the stamp, which is kind of annoying. So that little bit of tape is really nice, but it does make them harder to remove. So that's why the notch will be really helpful. And we'll just keep stamping these. Let's do a little bit more here. And then I think this set is done. There we go. Now we'll pop these guys out. Grab my tweezers to do that. Oops. Here we go. And we should have a little pile here of the done ones. And it's a little stickier. This first one will be less sticky as we go. There's our, I'm going to have a little pile down here. I think these sprigs were really nice to be included in the kit because you can do a lot of fun things with them. I saw a lot of the, and actually I did it too on one of my cards. A lot of the Create team members use them to kind of create like a branch and then have their ornaments hang down. I thought it was cute. Jenny one of our career team members placed all the greenery sprigs on the side, so on like the left side of her card, still kind of replicating the look of a Christmas tree. And that was a really great way to kind of do your layout with those sprigs. I thought that was really... I'll show you Pamela in just a second. So I made a jig real quick. I stamped the big and small pine sprig here onto this pine cardstock, and then I die cut it out. And then the negative piece that was left over, I'm using that as a jig to pop in blank die cuts into the negative space. Almost missed it. I'm glad you're here, Kathy. I'm glad you didn't miss it. And so I can stamp a lot of these because we need a lot. We need 14 total for our card we're creating, which we're creating a wreath with them. So we need a lot. So that's why I wanted to do this mass production kind of technique. Let's do one more. And I cut a little notch though in the jig, which you can kind of see it's these little red. I'll hold it up and once I pull these out, you can kind of see it because of the contrast of the red paper underneath. The red paper is just serving as a a scrap piece of paper that I can stick sticky stuff on and throw away afterwards. But I cut these little notches. Might be hard to see, really tell, because they almost look like they're a part of the die cut itself. Focus. Just cut little notches. That way I can stick my tool in there and pop out the die cut easily because it's a little sticky. Rosie said, last night I was thinking it would be cool to do a wreath card like the one you're making, but cut the center out and make a spinning disco ball hanging in the middle. That would be so cool. I think you could also make one with all the disco balls. Like, you know how you've seen those wreaths made out of ornaments? I think that would be cute too. There's a lot of fun things. That would be really neat. Have a disc spinning one would be way cool. Stick that there. Pop in those die cuts into my jig. And I'm ready to stamp another set. We're already halfway there. Michael's has a disco ball wreath? No way. Michael's clearly copied us. They were clearly inspired by Hero Arts. It's just so interesting how a trend, you can start participating in a trend kind of organically, and then you notice it everywhere. You're like, I didn't even like. We're all just sharing that on that same wavelength, and we don't realize it. So interesting. They definitely have made a comeback, Pamela. I agree. They really have. Whoops, let's not fall. All right, let's do just maybe one more time. Make it nice and dark. There we go. I like that. Pop that one out. Oops. Let's not do that. Let's get this guy under there. There we go. All right. Here we go. We're doing great. This is the most tedious thing of today's project, so not so bad. You like the postage cards? I love anything that, yeah, I love all the postage. Yes, like the postage, I understand what you're saying. Yes, like that postage style, like postage stamp style. I agree. And then it's like in the water, everybody's all of a sudden doing it. They're so cute though. I love them. Hello, Kelly. Welcome. I'm glad you're here. No worries. You're just watching me do some repeat stamping here. So, well, I guess it still kind of counts. Haven't really done anything really exciting yet. Just made a quick jig because I am stamping 14 of these pine sprigs. So a lot. It saves me a little bit of time. I don't have to line up a die to a stamped image 14 times, which I like. Skipping some steps. There we go. Okay. We have two more after these two. So 4 more left. Then we are done with that. Pamela says Hero Arts had postage infinity dies for a long time. Yeah, we did have those for a long time, and we still have them. We still carry them. They're not you know, which I know, Pamela, you know, but for anybody else who hasn't seen them, they're so cute. And they kind of made a resurgence once the postage stamp style of cards was really hitting. And that's when I saw them. Because they've been out for a while. I didn't even really pay attention to them back when they came out. And then I saw a lot of the creative team members using them with their projects. And I'm like, those dies are amazing. And so I'm like, I need those dies. And we definitely made sure to make sure they were restocked. Yeah, we still have them. See, Rosie's like, and they're so cute. Let me grab them. Oh, I moved things around so they're harder to get. But I will grab them in a second. But they're a great die set. And I love that postage. I still love that postage stamp look. I just think it's so cute. All right, 2 more to go. That's all we have. All righty. The last 2. There we go. Pamela says, I took out my Halloween, my monthly hero kit, woo, from September and used it. That was such a great kit. I agree, Pamela. That one was, I think we sold out of that kit. It was a really good one. I love that kit too. The layering stencils in that kit, so good. I guess that wasn't in the card kit. It was the layering stencil of the month. I loved it, but I love the images, the kind of silhouetted haunted house and the trick-or-treaters. I love the images in the card kit. Great card kit. So fun. Right, Rosie? That was a good one. Good morning. Or hello. I don't know why I want to think it's morning. It's not morning. It's lunchtime, Shannon. And even later for you guys in the East Coast. And I don't even know what time it is for other people outside of probably you're from the future if you're in Australia or something. I had the cameos, and I could have sworn that someone had done a card with the cameos and the skeleton, but I couldn't find one. Oh no. Oh yeah, there were some great dies too. There's an awesome like skeleton and flower die in that release too. I know, Pamela, I feel you. I feel you. All right, these are done. I stamped all of these. So I'll pop these out. This guy will live to see another day for something else. And I don't know, maybe I will use this for a jig later on. But I'm all done, so I can take these off now and put them away. I should give them a little clean though. Probably, maybe be better. Try to not be so bad. Rosie said, I did a card with a framed cameo on the front, and then you open the card and it's a framed skeleton and it was clear acetate. Oh, awesome. I remember that card. That was a good one. She must have shared it on social media. I would assume so, but I don't know. I don't share a lot of the ones that I make because I just don't get around to it, which is terrible. Terrible, terrible. So I feel you, Rose, if you didn't get around to sharing it. I've been there. All right. So we are done with that for stamping for now. We have our sentiment that we'll stamp later. And I will talk about how I found the best way to stamp and heat stamp. I should say heat emboss and die cut this sentiment, because I just wasn't liking when I would stamp first and die cut. It was getting kind of smushed, the heat embossing, and I didn't like the way it looked. So I'll go over that when we get to that part of the card, the make. But for now, we're done stamping. Where should I put this? Let's put this over here. All right, we're going to do a little ink blending on these beautiful die cuts. And this is going to step them up like you will not believe. So if we layered a couple, just so you can see, layer a couple going to be so cute. I mean, look at how good it looks already. But wait till you see what it looks like when we ink blend the tops of them a little bit. Sorry if you heard, we have their door open, so if you heard a honk, that's why. I'm not outside, even though it might sound like I am. Let's put these down. Use a sticky mat to hold everything in place. There we go. Let's see if we can get all of them. I have 7 of each, so I gotta make room for 7. There we go. Oops. Thank you, kiddo. Okay, we're gonna turn this like this. Grab our blending brush, or grab our ink, which again is pine. It's the same color I stamped all of the sprigs with. Ooh, I know her Christmas card's so good. I was very excited to see it this morning. And then I'm gonna grab my blending brush and we're gonna ink blend these guys. And I'm just gonna ink blend the tops. It's these little things. It's not hard to do. It is a little extra step, but my word, it is going to make it look so much more dimensional. We're going to do it to the bow too. Add some fun things to make it look, even though it's a layered bow, we're going to even step it up more. All right. I think we're done. So let's put this lid back on and show you how they start to look once they've been ink blended. Just so pretty. So much more dimension. Cute. All right, so these are done now. I'm going to put these aside for a second. And we need to actually stamp. I don't know why I forgot this, but we have to stamp the disco balls. So we are not even done with stamping in the slightest. Let's make some room here. Okay, so grab my Misty again. And I'm going to grab the mirrored gold cardstock. It's slightly matte, which is so beautiful. This was included in the card kit. We're going to stamp on this. Now, this is the same kind of issue as the sentiment. And I think I'm going to die cut first and then stamp. It's pretty easy to line up the stamp to the die cut because it's just a circle. Let's grab our stamps too. And we're just doing the outline. Even though it's a layered, it can be, you can use the additional layering stamps to add different color, which is so pretty. This is just another way to use this fun disco ball image. Let's put that there. I'm not quite ready. So I'm actually going to, I don't want to run this whole thing through my die cutting machine. Oh, I need a piece of copy paper. I found that helps too. So this paper does, you can see a little scratch here, because it's like a bit like a metal, like think of tin foil. It really does get the impressions of your plates very easily, and I don't want that look at all. So I actually have to get up real quick and grab a piece of copy paper, and I'm going to put it between the paper between the copy paper to kind of prevent that. And even though my plate is not that bad, I was getting a lot of impressions from it, and I don't like that. So let me grab that real quick. I can't believe I forgot it. All right, I'm back. So here's my paper. Yeah, I learned the hard way, Pamela. I did not know. Did not know. I think I can die cut now all of this. I'm still going to cut this in half. I just don't want to waste any of my precious gold paper. Let's cut it in half. I'll just use scissors. I think we can get 3 out of that. Linda says, I die cut first, but it was more difficult to emboss those small circles. Worked though. That's true. It is harder to heat emboss when you die cut first. It's very, very true. I'm debating whether I want to do it. Both works, just as one is slightly harder and the other, the easier way, can kind of smush your heat embossing. So we're going to try it. It is a trickier to heat emboss, but I'm going to try it. Trickier because it's going to hold. My cat is trying to climb my window right now, being crazy. Let's grab the die. That's V. She's the crazy one. Where's the die set? Here it is. Grab the dies. Oh, okay, I'm going to grab this one here for the disco ball. And we're ready to go. Let's put that back there. Oh yeah, plenty. I always forget how small that disco ball is. All right. Got it on the paper. Top plate. And that should keep everything nice and smooth and not marring the surface. All right, I'm not quite ready for this. Here we go. Be careful. Oh, look at that. Totally perfect, shiny, smooth, so good. Pamela says, I made a fortune teller ball from this year's Halloween collection. Took forever. Then somehow the button for the light was accidentally pressed and oh no. Pamela, I'm so sorry. It's such a bummer. I know before because I made a lot of the cards before I shared them, and I was so worried about the battery not like dying before I got to actually share the cards on like Instagram and stuff that I created with the kit. I had to rip it out. Yep, it stinks. Okay, we have one more. That we're gonna create. I just have 3 disco balls. That's all I'm using. They're kind of bigger, so okay, I think that turned out pretty good. So there's my 3 gold circles. Not quite disco balls yet, but we're ready to stamp them. I could definitely use this just leftover piece as a jig if I wanted to. Ooh, let's grab this. We can use this again. I could also just die cut. Just go the extra length and die cut out. Another little scrap of paper, but I'm going to use this. This is fine. Cut that little notch again. So it's kind of like I'm creating a jig again. I mean, I am, but this time not so much for mass producing. I mean, I'm only making 3, but I'm doing it this way because I wanted to die cut first and then stamp and heat emboss. So I found, whoops, that's the copy paper that was behind it. I found the heat embossing came out better this way. It's still raining in New York. Oh my gosh. Hi. Is it still raining? Wow. It is not raining in Arizona, though we did have a bunch of rain a couple weeks ago. It was the most, what did I read? It was the most, we had 5 consecutive days of rain in Arizona, and we haven't had that in a century. So it's been 100 years since Arizona has had 5 consecutive days of rain. Mind blowing. I couldn't believe that. I'm going to put that back, that die back. I think there was a bad storm. Oh my gosh. Was there really? I didn't even hear about it. Ugh, I bet it's gorgeous in New York in the fall. I want to go so bad to the East Coast in the fall. That's very unusual for Arizona. Clearly. I didn't even realize how unusual that was. Okay, we actually have to put a stamp down. No rain in October at all in Texas, Pamela? Oh my gosh. Do you have a rainy season in Texas? Is there like a rainy time of year? Typically it's our monsoon time, even though this big storm happened outside of that window. Kind of line this up. Get my big hit in here to see. That looks pretty good. Okay, ready to go. There we go. Still picked it up, even with the tape down in there. Oh, well. Oh, nope. Don't have a season. Interesting. But it can come in January, March. Okay, so not like a couple months like we have with monsoon. You hate the weather there. I'm sorry. Can't say I love Arizona weather, but I definitely hate our summers. But I like it once it starts to cool down. Like we sat outside last night Amazing. So nice. It's just nice to be outside again. I miss being outside. We're back to it. Back to that beautiful outside weather time of year. Okay. So this is really important that that tape that's behind on this red paper holds my die cut in place. So hopefully that continues to work, because if my die cut comes out and sticks to, like sticks to my stamp, I'm done, because I cannot pop it. Yes, of course I can pop it back into the jig, but it will not be lined up because it's just a circle. Like I could pop it back in any which way. Oh, you're moving to Colorado? Oh my gosh, I'm so jealous, Pamela. That's going to be amazing. I just went to Denver. I think I said this in my last live. We went to the Red Rocks for a Bonnie Raitt concert. It's the only time I've ever been to the Red Rocks Amphitheater. It might be the only time I ever go in my lifetime. We made a special trip to do that. It was a birthday present for my mom, but to be really honest, I really wanted to do it too. It was so good. That's where I'm moving? No way. That's so awesome. I'm excited for you. It was beautiful. The weather was amazing. We got a little taste of fall because we don't really get fall here in Arizona unless we drive up, north, which isn't terrible, but. All right, I'll pop this guy out. You know what we're going to do? We're going to do, I don't know why I didn't think about this. We're going to do this handy. I learned this from Christina Werner, the amazing Christina Werner. We're going to create a real quick, if I had a popsicle stick, that would work too. Do I have a popsicle stick? We can do it with cardstock too. Where are all my popsicle sticks? I used to have popsicle sticks. Apparently I don't have any anymore. Hi, welcome. It's nice to have you here. Oof. I'm gonna cut a couple pieces and stick them together. I'm creating a paper popsicle stick. That's what I'm gonna do right now. This just occurred to me. I wish I had thought of it earlier, to be honest. We're gonna use liquid glue, save a little on my tape runner. Yeah, it's a that tape under there is just holding the die cut in place. Now you could have put the tape, if you had like a sticky mat or a grip mat in your MISTI, you could just use that. I don't like stamping on top of grip mats. I don't like it. So I stick with the foam, but they are nice because they are sticky. And they would hold your die cut in place. But since I don't have anything sticky, I have to create something sticky and I put it on my paper. Yeah, I'm not keeping that. This is just I know it's colored cardstock and it looks like it's precious and it's something that I should be turning into something else, but this is just scrap paper. I have a hoard of old Recollections cardstock that, to be honest, I'm never going to use. Some colored cardstock. So that's what this is. Honestly, white paper is more precious to me than that colored cardstock. Okay, we're going to add a little bit of tape now to this. And this is our patent pending. Oh, come on. I'm not out of tape of this. If I'm out of tape from this, I'm going to lose my mind. I cannot be. Okay. Embossing stick. Cardstock stick. Put that in there. And I'm going to press it down. Okay. All right. Now I don't have to touch and mess up my embossing ink. I should have had this made earlier, but I didn't think about it till just now. Okay, we'll dip it in our gold embossing powder. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That worked so good. That makes me happy. That worked good. Now I can heat emboss it. heats a tiny bit more. And now we have a gold disco ball. Let's hold it up so you can see it. It's perfect. It turned out perfect. This card's gonna be better than my first one by a landslide. All right, let's do this again. 2 more times. Open this up. Yeah, there's some sticky adhesive in there. I'm gonna even add a little bit more because I'm afraid. These disco balls die cuts cannot move. They have to stay where they are. Otherwise, I gotta die cut another gold disco ball. And anti-static powder. And we'll stamp this. That's what I actually did. Linda, I did that exact same thing when I created my first card. And, you know, I made it work. But yeah, I did have a little spot where it wasn't like perfectly embossed. Or I held on to it. My tweezers had to hold on to the very edge of the die cut with it, their dear life. But it worked. But this is a little bit easier. Again, I did not come up with this. I just remember I saw this Christina Werner do this one time. And I thought that was brilliant. I know she's a genius. Her and Jennifer McGuire. So grateful for them. Helping us make our crafty creations better and more easily. And their beautiful ideas and their beautiful mind. She's a genius, absolutely. And so talented too, like in her her coloring skills as well. All right, I think I stamped that enough. This is the tricky part. I do have to carefully, I'm gonna stamp that one more time. I should use my notch. I don't know why I didn't use my notch. I thought it looked slightly lifted up, like I could get under there. I need to use my notch. All right, we're gonna use the tool-in-one. Oh, that's right. I put that extra adhesive down. That might have been my downfall. Did we get it? Yeah. Okay. Stick it on our heat embossing thing. Stick. Yes. It's really fun to see her create. I agree, Pamela. It's really fun to see her create live and kind of see how she works, you know, problem solves, you know, because a lot of that stuff, even though Jennifer is better than me, I cut a lot of that stuff out. I know it's helpful, but sometimes I feel like it's just makes the video too long. Probably should leave it, but it's really cool to see how she problem solves or how she's looking at products and how to use them in real time. Like that, I live for those kind of moments. Absolute perfection. I cannot. Yes, Christina does them too. That's right. So good. Christina's actually, I didn't start card making with Jennifer. It was Christina Werner who was my first YouTuber I discovered when I got into card making. And her holiday card series, which I get nostalgic every time she kind of does something that reminds me of it. Like whenever she does white gel pen stitching, I think it instantly pulls me back to when I was consuming her videos, her holiday card videos ravenously, and, you know, just couldn't get enough of them, the things that she was sharing in the videos. She has a beautiful voice. She really does. She did a video not that long ago that went south, and she fixed it. I think I heard about that. I think I heard her or read one of her text messages. Oh my gosh, Shannon. I can't speak. Read one of her posts on Instagram. That's the right way to say it. Where she referenced that she did, it was a disaster or whatever, and she somehow made it work. Which I'm not surprised, but I would have loved to see that progression of how it was just not working or coming together, or a mistake was made. It took over 2 hours. Well, Pamela, that's kind of, that sounds familiar. But I don't need problems to happen for me to take 2 hours. I just take that long. Charlene's class and yours were my favorite. Oh, that's so nice of you. I'll have to pass that along to Charlene. That is so nice. That's Shannon's average. Rosie, I feel like if I do 2 hours, that's a good day. I feel like that's a good day. Oh, I'll pass it along to Charlene. That's so nice. She has such a great, like, chill vibe. Whoop. It popped off. We're popping off. Okay, where's my handy dandy tool? Put that on there. Give it a little press. All right, and now we dip it in. It's raining in Ontario, Canada. Winter will be here soon. Right now it's fall and the leaves are pretty, but are falling fast. Oh my gosh, Ruby. I wish I could see it. I bet it's so pretty. We all wish we were there with you, Ruby. She shows so many techniques. I know. She's so good. All right, we're gonna heat that. Absolute perfection. I am obsessed with how this worked. It's so good. My crystal balls turned out, are my crystal balls. I don't know why I do that. I call them crystal balls all the time by mistake. My disco balls have turned out the best I have ever had them turn out. Here we go. Cute, 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 cute. I'm going to hold them up so you can see. Marvel in their beauty. And I don't have to die cut them and smush my beautiful heat embossing because they're already die cut, baby. Nice. So happy with that. It's true, Pamela. Jennifer shows something, everybody's got it. I have to get it. Like, I feel the same way. It's just, you just are like so excited about it because she makes magic happen. She makes magic happen. All right, I am done with that. We do have some more stamping. We have the sentiment, which we will have to kind of do something a little bit similar, but luckily we have made our handy dandy tool here. So that'll be easy to do. And you know what? Let's just go ahead and do that now. All right, we're done with this. All right, so I kind of explained this before, but I'll explain it again because I didn't go really into depth. But I found every time I stamped and heat embossed this sentiment and then die cut it out, I did not like the way it turned out. My die cutting machine just smushed the heat embossing too much. It kind of changed the color of the heat embossing. I lost a lot of the shine, definitely lost the definition and dimension. I just didn't like it. So we're going to die cut first and then heat emboss, just like we did the disco balls, but for a slightly different reason. The disco balls kind of were accomplishing that, not smushing the embossing, but also we wanted to die cut them with that carrier sheet, that copy paper, to kind of help prevent the mirrored cardstock from getting marred by the surface of our cutting plates. Not quite, not totally the same reasons, but at least one of the same reasons is why we're going to do it this way. All right, which normally I have no problem with heat embossing and then die cutting, but I think it's because it's such a big sentiment. You notice it a lot more. Big areas of heat embossing. Okay, this is our cardstock we're going to use. I need the coordinating die. Here it is. So we'll die cut this out. I'm going to do it like that. Okay. I could stamp first, just like maybe I will. I'll do that. Put that, we're going to use that again. Good thing we held on to that. I'm going to stamp first, but in just like a basic color. Like, oops, that's not a stamp, Shannon. That is a die. That is a die, not a stamp. Let's grab a stamp. Like you could do contour ink, you know, a light color is better. So you don't want it to impact the, kind of tint the heat embossing in gold, but I'm just going to use a yellow to. There we go. Stamp this just so I have kind of, when I do die cut, the die cut will be perfectly, the window that I create will be perfectly lined up to the stamp sentiment. I could have eyeballed it, but this is even better. There we go. Okay. Let's pop that out. Gotta keep that stamp in my MISTI. That's important. Keep them there. We're using all these techniques today. All these that you wouldn't know. You know, you wouldn't know looking at the card that you did some of these techniques. So this is a good one. It's a little problem-solving strategies to get as close as we can to perfect results. All right. And I'm just going to use this die cut that I stamped. We lined up pretty good. I think so. Pamela, when I cut mine, it did. I wasn't liking it. I don't know why. Maybe it was because my plates, the plate I was using was pretty marred. I don't know. And then I find it so frustrating to have to do things multiple times that I'm not saying this is a good strategy, but when I have to do something over again, that I'll just as of a precaution so I don't have to do something over again, I'll like take 10 other steps and make it almost harder for myself. But I know the result would be good when I do it this way, even if it's more steps. Okay, that looks cute. That looks nicely die cut. Now let's grab that red piece. Where'd he go? There he is. He's nice and sticky still. I think I'll add a little tiny bit more tape though. Well, that means it's 1 o'clock. I hear our nearby church bells ringing. I'm going to cut that little notch again so I can more easily pull this out. I'm going to cut 2. He's got a lot of spots where I think it could get caught. Cut 3. What the heck? They're easy enough to do. No, it might be just Pamela. It might be just me. Might be literally just me. But I just want it to be successful. The first go. Okay, he goes in there, And then I'm going to add some anti-static powder. I don't have to worry about this ink still being wet because I'm stamping right over where it may be wet. But I do have to worry a little bit about the tape, the adhesive from the tape causing my embossing powder to stick. Hopefully that won't be a problem. Let's grab 1 o'clock. What happened? These are supposed to be fast cards, Shannon. Wasn't that what you promised? Such a liar. Okay, I'm gonna go faster now. I'm gonna go into hyperdrive. We still have to die cut the bow and everything. My word, why am I so slow? Oh, I did not like that. I did not like you popping out like that. Stirner. Alrighty. I'll do one more time. Stay in there. Good job. Okay, this better be the most beautifulest sentiment ever. There we go. And let's grab our tool. Sticky, sticky. Nice. Takes you forever. I know it takes me forever. I don't know why I'm so slow. And I feel like I'm going fast, but maybe I talk too much. All right, that looks so good, guys. Don't have very many spots that get some extras, just a couple. Whoops, let's not do that. Well, that worked. That's still okay. Okay, let's heat set this. Perfect. Turned out absolutely perfect. So happy with that. That looks great. Nice and crisp. Good definition on that heat embossing. I'm very happy with that. All right. We almost have everything ready to go. We just have the bow to do. So let's die cut that bow. I'm gonna leave that over there. The hard part, the stamping, done. It's bow time, baby. Okay. Grab those awesome dies. I'm going to use 2 colored cardstocks from the kit. Grab my other stuff here. Perfect. And I forgot to say at the beginning of this live, I will be showing at the end of this, after I make both projects, I will be showing a sneak peek, but not really that much of a sneak because you see everything. I'll be showing the November card kit. So stay tuned for that. I love getting to share that. Cut that layer, that part, and this part out of that beautiful poppy cardstock. I'm obsessed with this color. Please be enough room for both of these. I don't want to grab another piece. You've got to be kidding me. I want you to fit. I don't want to grab another piece. I figured it out. I mathed it. I mathed it. Nice. I jinged. I Tetrised it. That's probably a better way to say it. Yes, a sneak peek. Excited to share. The kit's so cute, guys. It's so cute. It's a good one. I say that about everyone, but this one is going to be the perfect fit for some people. Like you're gonna lose your mind. Ooh, Rosie, I like this. Rosie's throwing out there any guesses on the theme. Rosie knows. So, because Rosie's on our creative team, if you didn't know that, she's on our Pure Arts creative team. So she knows. She's seen the kit already. She's in the know. And you guys are going to be in the know in not very long a time, short time. Okay, that layer and this layer out of the beautiful tutu. This pink and red together. So pretty. Okay. Pick that up. Let's die cut that out. Oh, you did just finish them? Nice job, Rosie. I'm still working on them. I'm tweaking. I made some cards with it for the packaging, and I try to make more cards. If I have time, don't always have time, try to make more cards for when we release the kit for like the marketing for showing it off. So you guys have, so everybody has a lot of samples, a lot of inspiration. So I am kind of reworking some of the ones I did earlier. Whoop. All right, I'm gonna do a little bit of ink blending on these die cuts. But I do have to quickly clean my script mat here. Otherwise, I'm gonna pick up that green ink that's left on there, the residual green ink, and really mess up the color of my bow. And I want to do that before I put it together. Once I get that little bit of ink blending that I'm going to do done, we will have almost everything. We have to do a little bit of stamping with the gorgeous cling of the month. But then we'll have everything ready to go to finish this card. Let me get that green ink off of there. And do a quick wipe down with my chamois. And we are good to go for the bow. Oh, creating with a deadline is hard. It really, really is. I struggle with it so much because something will occur to me, like a good idea will occur to me much later after I've been working with the products. Like it's not, good ideas don't happen for me right away. I have to kind of work with the products for a little while. And that just makes me so slow to get stuff done. Get my blending brushes here that I forgot at the beginning. And then when I have a good idea, I have to do it. Like I don't like not doing it. Okay, we're going to ink blend the sides of the bow with this cherry ink. This is going to make that bow look a little bit more dimensional. And I'm going to ink blend the center. Because think of how a bow will, like, the center should be the highest point of those two side, I don't know what you would call that, bow parts. And I'm now going to also ink blend this part right here. That's true. You don't have time to overthink, Rosie. Rosie says, but if I feel like I'm under a time crunch, I don't have time to overthink. I just go with it, which is usually my favorite. That's a very, very good point. I think overthinking is my specialty. And it might even sort of be my superpower, but it does get me into trouble, and it can be very annoying to anybody who works with me because I'm like, wait, I got a million ideas. I got to do them. They're like, you don't have time to do that. But I'm like, but it's a good idea. It's a good idea. It needs to be done. All right. So that's it. That's the ink blending. Look at how dimensional that looks already, just that little bit of ink blending. And we haven't even put the layers together. All right. Let's build this bow super quick. Down there. All right. Grab my liquid glue. Start with the pink on top of the red base. A little bit of liquid glue there. Put on the sides too. And I'll hold it here so you can see how it's coming together. Look at that. So cute. And then we're going to do that final knot. I wanted to bring in a little bit of the white that we inevitably have with that sentiment. So I do add some white gel pen highlights. I'm debating whether I'm going to do it on this one though. Should I do it? Should I do it? You know what? We'll decide after I put it together. We'll decide then. All right, putting this all aside. Okay, we're going to quickly stamp the background with the cling. Freaking love my scrubber. It's so good at cleaning my stamps. I cannot wait for them to get back in stock for you guys. This is like one of the best the best tools in the stamping industry for cleaning your stamps is the scrubber. So good. And it works wonders cleaning your stencils too. I mean, I try not to talk about it, you know, talk it up when it's not available because it just feels cruel. But I love it so much. All right, we're going to grab a panel of Seaside cardstock. Because it's a cling, I do need to remove my mouse pad for my Misty. I have, like, clearly you can see my poor Misty is used and abused. I have already sticky some double-sided tape in here. I'm just going to use it again. I'll eyeball center here. The one thing I do want to do, though, let me grab the OG card, is I only want to stamp about 3/4. I really liked that look, how it broke up the background a little bit. You could, of course, stamp the whole thing, but I really liked stamping about 3/4 of the way up. So I think I do have to move this a tad. And you know what? I can use a magnet because I'm not stamping the whole thing. So added insurance. It doesn't move around on me. Right there, I think looks pretty centered. All right. Oh, there you go, Linda. Nice. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of other clings you could use for a background. Rosie says, I stained my stencils with red ink yesterday. I used alcohol and it was stained. Then I used, Rosie, my girl, you're right. The Ultra Clean can clean better than the rubbing alcohol. So yes, you can save a little bit of money and use rubbing alcohol to clean your stencils and you'll get most of the ink off, but if you want to get them really clean, Ultra Clean. So Ultra Clean is great. It's what I was using a little bit earlier. Unfortunately, it just sold out yesterday, but it's such a great stamp cleaner. So, so good. You cannot, though, use rubbing alcohol to clean your stamps. Not your clear stamps or your rubber stamps. The alcohol can kind of break down your stamps. So, does it work on sneakers? That's a great question. Should we be going into another arena with our amazing Ultra Clean? Report back, Rosie. We all want to know if you do use it, how it works. All right, I am just stamping this in Paradise. Almost done here. Let's do the center a little bit more. Press there. Oh, it's looking so pretty. This is such a pretty cling. So retro. I love it. Cute. So pretty. Okay, that's done. We could put this card together. We are on home stretch. How are we doing on time? Terrible. I'm doing terrible on time. I think the next card will go pretty fast, actually, because it is really just the layering stencils. No die cutting. Well, a tiny bit of die cutting. We die cut the sentiment. All right, we need our card base. Here it is. Where did it go? There it is. And we're going to use the tape runner to stick it down. I know, that's how I feel, Rosie. That's how I feel. Every time I use it, I'm like, the tiniest, let's do it half squirt. It's so precious. It's essential. It's like one of those things that is essential. I need it sometimes to clean a stamp properly. I can't, or I'm having to stamp it a lot on a scrap piece of paper to get it, to get clean. I just love that Ultra Clean does it so much more simply. There's some little mark there, but I'm going to choose to not let that bother me. All right, look at that bow and that. It looks like a present. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty with just that bow. You know what, Pamela? I wonder too. What's in it? What makes it so good? I don't know. Maybe I should know. I have no idea. I just know it's good stuff. Okay, we're going to start making our wreath. Putting together our wreath here. I do have a piece of press and seal handy and ready to go. Put these quick. I'm going to put stuff away real fast before I do this because my press and seal is buried, so I got to put something away. It must be a secret, Pamela. They didn't tell me. Nobody's told me. I just know it works well. And I've used other stamp cleaners, and other stamp cleaners are great, but I haven't found anything. We even started testing another one for, I don't even know why. We tested another one for some other reason, and I'm like, you guys, Ultra Clean's the best. Don't mess with perfection. Don't mess with it. It's just the best, and that's what we've got to prioritize. Okay, stick that in there. Maybe it's hard to get or something, so they're like, can we find some easier one? And I'm like, maybe, but it won't be as good. Okay. Don't mess with perfection. Right, exactly. Okay. Cute, 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 cute. So, these greenery pieces are so pretty. Just gonna layer them into that wreath. This is gonna take some messing, but I'm going to try to do it as fast as I can. I can fuss with this for ages. I really can. And I am going to do my darndest to not do that today. to not be that person who fusses. We'll see how it goes. It's not my strong suit. Oh my gosh, it looks so pretty. Without an outline. Oh, you could do this, Rosie. You could do this without an outline. You just made a reef too. I am fumbling though, that's for sure. We're getting there. I like that. That's nice. My messy tweezers. They get me into trouble every time. You know what I should be using? This guy. He's not dirty like the rest of my stuff. Everything I own is covered in adhesive. It does, Kelly, right? It wasn't hard to do and so worth the extra effort. This is where it's going to be like, I should have maybe done more, but we're just going to have to make what we have work. It's looking so pretty though. Oh my gosh, I love it. Almost there. All right, we gotta space things out a tiny bit more so we can. And we have the disco balls coming so they can fill in some of the space too. All right, I think that's where we're gonna stop. Only thing I don't like is this one right here. Famous last words. We'll just fix that. And then everything's broken. I think we fixed it. I fixed it. I'm leaving it alone. Okay. I'm going to put the bow down. I liked the bow kind of to the side. Dang it. Should have left well enough alone. Okay. All right. Yes, I'm going to use press and seal to pick everything up. And then I'll use foam adhesive to kind of hold everything in place. But I'm going to position I will have to glue probably my disco balls afterwards. And then we have one kind of here. Let's do this one a little higher. Never mind, leave him there. All right, I'm calling it Dunsies. Cute. Okay, picking it up with press and seal. There we go. Press it all over. I'm going to flip this over, whole card and all. And I'll carefully peel back. And now it's ready for me to add foam adhesive, and that's what's going to hold everything together. Grab my big roll of foam adhesive. Am I gonna like almost spend 2 hours on one card? Like, how? Crazy. All right, we're gonna go to town now. Where are my smaller scissors? I don't know. Here they are. And the bow and the ornaments might, the bow and the disco ball might not stay. That's totally okay. They're easy enough to place that I'll glue them with the liquid glue. I just want to kind of get all these greenery pieces stuck together so that they don't move. And I think we're just about there. Yeah, I think that's good. And now we'll flip this, remove the backing, and we'll stick this down to the card, and then we'll just have the sentiment. Hey, you, stop it. Get back to where you're supposed to be. All right, come on, get in there, get in there. Another good option would have been if you have circle dies, you could have actually cut, you could almost build this like you would a real wreath. If you were making one, you'd cut a ring of cardstock, and then you could just glue one by one your, I think I got everything off, your pine sprigs to it. That's another option too. And because it's liquid glue, you have a little bit more time to kind of play with it. There we go. I'll just add liquid glue to this and stick that down. Rachel, how are you, friend? Nope, because I take forever. You made it. Because I'm so slow. Okay, move that carefully. I'll hold these kind of in place. We'll try that one again. I'm going to just tweak this one die cut a little. Famous last words. Okay. Dunsies. Cute. All right. Oh, I'm so glad you're getting some crafty time in. I'm going to finish with our sentiment. He goes right there. So cute. I'm not going to add the gel pen highlights to this one. I think I like it better without, you know? Now we have two versions. I'm going to double up the foam adhesive though. Where did I put it? Here it is. For our sentiment. But some places it's going to go on top of the reef. So those places will only have one layer of foam adhesive. So that Y, I just kind of held it over. I'm like, okay, the Y is going on top of the reef. The M and Mary. But everything kind of in the middle needs double foam. And we'll do double foam kind of in the center. I'll fold this one over. That's the easiest way to do double foam if you can. Fold it onto itself. There we go. And then double foam that last little piece in the middle. I'll really add a second layer because it already has one layer. All right. Okay, card number 2, almost to it. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty. Look at how pretty that turned out. I love that pink and red combo with the teal and the cling, that contrast of the top being open and the bottom having the pattern. I really think that's a fun layout. Kind of breaks up the space nicely. Cute. I'm happy with that. We're going to stop there. Here, just side by side so you can see the one with the gel pen. And maybe I'll change, maybe I'll decide later. Actually, I do need the gel pen highlight. I mean, it is fun. What do you guys think? Yes, no? Gel pen highlight, yes. Gel pen highlight, no. Okay, card number 2. This card features the layering stencils, the October layering stencils, and a whole bunch of ink blending, but not so bad. Not so bad. I'm going to give this a quick clean. Give it just a tiny squirt of my Ultra Clean because it's precious, and kind of clean some of that red that was on there from the ink blending that bow. Can you hear the birdies? I was wondering. I was going to say something, but I didn't know if you could hear them. Yep, they are chirping away. They're loving today. They're loving it out there. Now, the question is, you can hear the birdies. Can you hear my cat snoring? Because she's like right down beside me on the ground. She's right, if you follow the plant that I always have on my right side, she's right down below it, snoring away. And she's my older kitty. She's an exotic, which means she has that short kind of snout, and she snores a lot. She makes a lot of snorty sounds. All right, grabbing the layering stencils. Oh, yeah, they need to help me a little bit more though, because I'm slow. But they're definitely enchanting. They're very sweet, the birdies. All right, there are 4 stencils in this set. I put them away atrociously, so let me get them sorted the right way again real fast. 3 and 4. Okay. So these are the October layering stencils. I have my A2 top folding white card base right in here. We're going to do them in order, even though we're going to end up ink blending them into my mind, the colors that we use for each layer feels like they're out of order, but we are going to ink blend them in order. And I mean that they seem out of order because we start with a dark, and I usually with layering stencils, I almost always start with a light. We kind of bounce around in that sense for this. All right, we're going to start, and I'm going to refer to my instructions. Stencil 1, and we're going to ink blend with Bermuda and Pine. And we're doing 2 inks because we're going to create a gradation. We're going to ink blend. Well, actually, we will create a gradation, but another layer. this layer, we're going to do the ornaments in Bermuda and the tree and pine. Now, I'm not going to try to be super careful here. I will get some green on the ornaments. That's fine. I'm not worried about it. I'm not stressing about that at all. Good. I'm glad you have the kit, and I'm glad that that was beneficial. I hope that was. At least I hope it was. I always will make a card with the kit for sure. Okay, this is Bermuda. We're going to ink blend those ornaments. And I'm not going to be afraid of I'm going to go pretty dark with this Bermuda. Cute. Okay, now we are going to ink blend the pine. Let's see. Where is that blending brush? We used it earlier. Here it is. Okay, load up the pine and ink blend. Now I'm going to eyeball these layers if you can't tell. I could do a little ink blending here onto my sticky mat. I'll do that. I might not really be able to see those registration marks, but do a little bit. Pine is such a pretty color. I probably should opt for a smaller blending brush, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to stick with my big boy and hope for the best. So what are you crafting, Rachel? Is it top secret? If you're getting in your craft room today, curious what you're crafting. All right, I'm going to break down and get a smaller blending brush. I mean, I have to get up. That way you can kind of get in between them a little bit better, not lose completely that Bermuda. I don't mind if some of the green gets on the disco ball ornaments because that makes kind of sense. Like think of a disco ball, it's made up of a bunch of mirrors. It's going to pick up, you know, the colors of things around it. So it would pick up the tree. But I don't want to completely lose that Bermuda. I think it's a pretty addition. Oh, tomorrow's release. Yes, we have a release tomorrow. And that means I will have another live tomorrow. I'll be doing an unboxing live tomorrow, which is already up on our Hero Arts YouTube channel. So if you do want to see that, it's a new collection. It's actually going to be our last collection for the year. So our last one, but it's a really good one. Really versatile. That'll be tomorrow at 3 p.m. is the live where I'll do the unboxing. And so you can see all the products in that collection, as well as I'll create with them too. This is stencil number 2. I can kind of see my registration marks, but I can, this one's not too hard to eyeball, really, honestly. There we go. I think that looks pretty good. This layer for stencil 2, we're going to do 1 ink this time. This time we're going with Arctic, which is a very light color. It's pretty, Pamela, isn't it? It's such a pretty stencil. I think it's so beautiful. And I love this concept of like the side of a tree, because even though the stencil makes ornaments, which is totally nice because you could just use it all by itself and have a beautiful card. but you could easily cover up these ornaments with ornament die cuts, and it would be really, really pretty. Also dimensional, so they're popped up, the ornaments, and you have that tree in the background. So pretty. Okay, Arctic is a really nice teal. Oh, Rosie. I feel you. It's hard for me to create and watch or even listen, you know, because I want to chime in or be watching what's happening. I love this Arctic color. This one's one of my favorites. Okay, Arctic done. Remove. Looking so pretty already. Look at that, guys. It's already starting to come together. We're on to stencil number 2, or 3, sorry. There we go. Close enough. Number 3, we're going to do one color this time. We're just doing Paradise. It's the last one we do 3. I'm looking at my notes here because I cannot remember. This layering stencil set is so different than how I normally think of layering stencil sets. So I really had to like take my time when I made this original card and really think about it differently. So Paradise is a medium teal. It's between the Arctic, the color we just used, and the Bermuda, which is the teal we used at the beginning. Whoops. I have not watched this season of Love is Blind. I've seen all of them until this season. I haven't seen this season. I'm in like my I'm in my spooky time. So all I am watching is like horror movies, but old ones, like from the 60s. So they're kind of kooky. Let's do a tiny bit more. They're a mess. I have heard people talk about it. I have heard people talking about it a little bit. So it has got me going, I maybe need to tune into it. But I'm still on my spooky stuff right now. Oh, super pretty. Okay, coming along. So pretty. I'm debating whether I want to go a little rogue here. Hold on one second. No, I'll stick with it. I'll stick with the instructions. I won't go rogue. Okay, this is the 4th and final stencil. There we go. And for this one, we are doing 2 colors. We're going to do Forever Green, which is a very dark, almost olivey green, and even some black. I want to create a gradation. I want to be a lighter green here and darker up here. And we're going to go pretty darn heavy-handed with this Forever Green. And I even ink blend the Forever Green over the ornaments. Kelly, you can hear my kitty snoring. You can hear her. Yep, she's snoring away down here by my feet. She will not ever come up onto the table because she's an old kitty and she cannot jump up here. So you can only hear my Elodie. You cannot probably see my Elodie. She's a sweet kitty though. She loves pets. She loves to snuggle. But jumping up on the table is too hard for her. And she's had to do some adjusting, and I'm so proud of her because of our new 2 kittens. I don't think she was quite so thrilled at first, but she's really done a great job adjusting to them. I'm really proud of her. They'll still get hisses every once in a while where Elodie's like, okay, enough. That's enough now. V, the other girl kitty, is obsessed with my Elodie. She like is always around her, always following her. That was actually the only reason why she was up on my chair before the live started, because she was trying to get closer to Elodie. Oliver is definitely the star of the show. He's the guy. He can get up here, and he likes to just plop himself right down. He's such a funny guy. But he's not, I don't know where he is right now. Okay, I grabbed a little bit of the black. Just going to ink blend a small amount. I'm going to call that done. Just a tiny bit of the black to make it a little darker. A little bit more up there. As you can see, that Forever Green is a very dark green, which I love it. It's one of my favorite inks. I use it a ton. All right, let's remove it. So good. I'll just leave it on there for right now. It turned out so good. Amazing, right? It changed so much in that last layer. All right, we're going to finish with a little blend on the side. I think I have Arctic for that. It just needs to be a light color, but I think I have enough residual ink Paradise. I'm just going to ink blend with this brush. Just a tiny bit. Kind of takes away some of that harsh white. Perfect. I'm very happy with that. Okay, I'm going to lift it up. Do it the new way I learned from Charlene, even though I might not be able to do it when it's already in my stamp wheel. Okay, it kind of worked. How pretty. I love it. It turned out so good. Michelle says, is the matte or whatever it might be called still available? I've been looking. This is not a Hero Arts thing. So yes, you can get this, but you can't get it on our Hero Arts website. It's not a Hero Arts product. It's actually an Alt New product. You can get it at Alt New, of course, or other scrapbook online suppliers. But you can even get it at Spellbinders. I believe it's at Spellbinders. It should be. It used to be. But it's awesome. There's other grip mats, but they are essential with stencils. I use them with stencils so much. I love them. All right. We're almost done. The only thing I have left to do is really the sentiment and some little accents. I'm going to grab my Misty and stamp my sentiment real quick. I am debating whether I do the sentiment the same way I did on the last card or just take a risk. I think I'm just going to take a risk and hope that it turns out not all squished and looking weird. I have a little piece of waterfall cardstock. This is another cardstock that was included in the card kit. I'm going to grab my card kit here and grab the Deck the Halls with Disco Balls sentiment. This is the clear from the card kit. Pop it in onto my panel. Add some anti-static powder. Yeah, check. Alt New will definitely have it, so that's a for sure. Unless they're out of stock, but I would be shocked if they were out of stock. And it's called a stamp wheel. But if you're just looking for the grip mat, that sticky mat, there are others out there. I believe Spellbinders carries one that's bigger, and you don't need the whole stamp wheel, because to get the one I have, I don't actually know if you can get the one that I have all on its own. Maybe you can. Maybe somebody else can tell Rosie says the stamp wheel and the alt new grip mat are available on Spellbinder's site. Okay, great. Yes. Now, Rosie, is the mat separate? Can you buy that mat separate, or do you have to get the stamp wheel? It comes with a stamp wheel, but if you just want the grip mat, I think you should be able to just get the grip mat somehow. That's really all you want. But not to tell you not to get the alt new one, but there are other grip mats out there that are nice, and they're just the grip mat. That's what I'm trying to say in a very convoluted way. All right, did I do anti-static powder? I can't remember, so we're gonna do some more again. Yes, you can get the grip mat separate. Cool, because that's really all you need. There you go, you can save some money that way. So handy. Okay, we'll stamp this a couple of times. Dip it into the gold. Can you maybe just stay put? That would be awesome. Oh, thank you, Michelle. Ruby, I'm not fast. That's kind of you to say. I'm clearly slow. Oh, but it's not 2 o'clock yet. What? That means I'm under 2 hours? I shouldn't. I'm not done yet, though, Shannon. Shannon, you're getting ahead of yourself. I'm not done yet. Okay. Part of the thing is, Ruby, I've made these cards before, so that helps a lot. I made them. I wrote the instructions. So if I was creating a card from scratch, never made it before, I 1,000% would not be talking. That takes every ounce of brain thinking power I have to create a card. Beautiful heat embossing. Okay, grab a die. Die cut this out. Grab these while I'm at it, because I'm going to need those in a second. And that, I think, Michelle's also why I make it look easy, because I've done it before. It's not the first time. The first time I make a card, like, and I'm figuring out, there's definitely a learning process where I have to kind of learn the best way to work with the product sometime. And I think this set was especially so, with trying to figure out when I should heat emboss, when I should die cut, so I have the best results. So the trial and error has already been done. We get to now do the just straight to the easy make pretty part. All right. It is time to finish this card. There's our sentiment. Looks pretty good. Even though I didn't go through the weird, crazy way I did it for the first one, but I think the heat embossing, the solid areas are smaller. That first sentiment had some heat embossing areas that were very big surface area. The surface area for these letters are smaller. And I don't think you notice like little imperfections that the die cutting machine will put on there. Or not the machine, but the plates rather. Okay. Last thing, grab my card. We're going to pop this up with some foam adhesive, of course. Got to have some foam adhesive. Do a tiny bit down in that corner. Straight, not exactly. Did I remove? Yeah. Like it's not sticking. Did I remove both backs? I did. Just gonna press it. All right, cute. And then we'll finish by bringing in some of bling. I'm gonna use, what's my lacquer pen? Is it here where it should be? Is that it? There it is. I'm gonna use my lacquer pen to stick these down. They are sticky, but I don't trust the adhesive on the back of my gems. I just don't trust it. I have trust issues with it. So I'm gonna use my Hero Arts lacquer pen, which is kind of like Glossy Accents. We're gonna use why? I don't know. This is where I struggle so much, is putting gems down. Should I grab my gem pick? That might be smart. That might help me a little bit here. Okay, remove that. Well, the sticky is doing a pretty good job because I can't pick it up. Okay. Let's add a couple more over here. That's like a booger. Good. Glossy. Okay, one. A tahoo. Two. And then 1, 2. This kind of incorporates the gold, obviously, in the sentiment. Even though I think the Forever green ink, being that olivey green color, kind of actually has similar tones to gold. Right? Yep, I don't trust those gems to stay on. I have trust issues with the gems. I don't trust that adhesive. Tired of put my cards away and then, finding gems in the bottom of my box. Like, y'all, they didn't stick. How cute. I really love how it turned out. This is such a pretty, this is such a pretty stencil set. So good. So good. So easy to do too. And again, I didn't do it on this card, but there's a lot of samples on the Hero Arts website with this product. This is, again, the October Layering Stencil of the month, where people put ornament die cuts on top of these ornaments to change the look of the ornaments. And it looks so good. So the stencil can basically just create like the side of a tree for you. And then you can put your other ornaments on top that you might have. So fun. Thank you, Rosie. Yep, the subscription is still available until October 26th, which is kind of the point of why we have this Stampin' Craft. So if you do see something you might like, you still have a chance to get it. All right. That was the last card. That one, I guess, the last of the two, the many two. But they did take time. This guy here and this one, so pretty. I really like how they turned out. We're now ready to take a look at the November card kit. So this is next month's card kit. It's not available yet. And in fact, we haven't even started sneak peeking it yet. So you guys who come to the Stampin' Craft, you always get to see this first chance. You're the first ones to see the new, besides the creative team, the new card kit. So let me grab the November card kit and share it with you all. I'll even share a card so you can kind of see how some of these products are. First up, and I realized I'm going to need some white cardstock here just so I can show products better. I did not get, well, it'll have to be like this. I did not get the products in their packaging this time. So you're going to see my set, and it's a little bit loved and stained and used, and I apologize. I'm trying so hard to get better and get the products new and fresh for you guys, but it doesn't always work out that way. All right. You haven't even looked. All right, Rachel, you're going to look at it too. First up is there is a paper pack included in the kit. Some gorgeous Spellbinders color reel cardstocks. You have Waterfall, Seaside. I actually used both of these in today's cards. This is Peridot. I love the name of that one. This is Tuscan, Saffron, Beeswax, Terracotta, Carrot, Coral, and Bellini. So some beautiful cardstock colors. There's 10 in there. They are half sheets, but I love that this kind of establishes your color palette. Of course, you can change this up. In fact, I cannot wait to see all the projects created by the creative team because they're going to use some different colors than I used. And this set, these products would work really well with some more moodier, richer jewel tone colors. These ones are really pretty too. I love this palette, but I think this set would look really great in another palette as well. Yes, always change it up. That's what I love to see. I'm actually going to keep these fanned out a little bit because they're so pretty together. And since I don't have beautiful, clean products, I'll at least have beautiful cardstock. But the products are so cool. The dies, you guys are going to lose your mind. They're so good. Also included, which I kind of showed earlier, there is Hero Wax included in the kit. Gold Hero Wax, which is great for a lot of fun techniques. Great for adding little accents. You know who really does wonders with Hero Wax? Rosie. Rosie makes amazing projects, and she uses Hero Wax in a lot of creative ways. So awesome. So I'm glad, and it really complements the palette too. It's a nice product to include, especially if you never used our Hero Wax before. It's great. I think I'm going to show you this die set first, and forgive me, I forgot the name. Let's see, I can find the name of the products actually pretty fast. Just got to click the right tab on my other screen. Nope. Here it is. Okay, so this is the die set, in one of the die sets. There's actually 3 die sets included in this kit. This is the Happy Place die set. I wanted to make sure I get the name right. It is probably hard to tell what it creates just by looking at the dies. That's why I have a card to show you. But it creates a book that's like open. And then you have dies, you can see hands, that actually create a person who looks like they're holding a book and reading it. So now you're starting to see the theme here. You're starting to pick up the theme a little bit of this month's kit. So cute. And in addition to that die, there's another die. This is the To Be Read coordinating dies. I just want to make sure I get it right. I'm still like shocked at what's included in this kit. It just feels like so much stuff. So I'm going back and checking my reference photo and my list here because I'm just surprised how much is included in this. So you can see another really large die set. And just like this one, this die set is standalone. Now there are coordinating stamps to go with this, and I'll show you that in just a second. But this could be completely standalone. You don't have to stamp this. Just like this one, you don't have to stamp. And I will show you a sample of this one in just a second. I want to show all the products and then I'll show my card. But very, very cool. It creates clearly a stack of books that you would probably most likely cut out of like white cardstock. And then you have all these dies that you put on top. Make sure I'm lining it up for the right one. Yeah. So these to add color to make the book binding a different color. So they match up with each one of these stacked books. So it makes such a cool focal point for your card. It's so cool. And if that wasn't enough, the coordinating stamp set, so this is the to be read pile stamp set, allows you to stamp on the spines of the book some designs, but also sentiments. So you have amazing, you could say you are amazing and stamp that on the spine of the books, or extraordinary, wonderful, incredible, inspiring, awesome, thank you, fantastic. And there's even a hello, a little hello. So fun and creative. I love this idea. Think of this being stamped in gold, embossing stamped, and then heat embossed in gold on your book spines. How nicely that will coordinate with the hero wax. And I love all the different designs that you can stamp. And also you can choose not to stamp. You don't even have to stamp, because again, this die set works so well all on its own. And then there's one more die set and one more stamp set included in this kit. And this is the, I'm going to grab some more white cardstock to see. This is like a little sentiment set. This is, we're calling the professional bookworm set. Oh, do I have it backwards? Why do we not say the die here? Oh, we say Stampin' Cup. Okay, I have it right. This is professional bookworm stamp set. Bunch of little sentiments. It's the book was better. If you need me, the book is better is funny. It gets me every time I read it. I'll be reading. So if you need me, I'll be reading. Books are my happy place. Book Lovers Club. And again, mine are kind of stained. I'm sorry. Shh, I'm reading. Book Professional Bookworm, and just one more chapter. So some cute little sentiments. Very fun. There is a coordinating die set, so you can easily die cut those sentiments out. I love that. I'm going to put those kind of up here. But that is the whole November card kit. Clearly a really awesome book lovers theme. I think it's so cute. Again, the palette is beautiful. The colors are really pretty. I have a card I'll show you here in just a second. But also keep in mind how fun this would be if you went for more like New England library colors, like so moody jewel tone colors. I think would be so pretty too. Very, very fun. Fun collection. I know many of you guys are book lovers, book readers, and I think this will just be so fun for you to create projects with this. And here is my sample card. The background, you're actually getting like a double sneak peek, because this background is the November layering stencil of the month. But you can see here the girl, I used this one here, which again is the my Happy Place die set, and created die cut out of colored cardstock and created this girl reading her book here. So very, very fun. It's an awesome, awesome collection. And I can't wait for you guys to see everything and see all the samples. That's coming soon. This will be released the first of the month so November 1st is when this whole November Hero Studio is coming out. But sneak peeks will be coming in the next week, but on the later end of the week. Okay, is that it? That is it. Let me change my camera view. We've done it. We've seen it, and we've done it all. Thank you so much for spending your Sunday with me and creating our 2 cards with the October Hero Studio, the layering stencil and the card kit. I hope you enjoyed and learned some things, and I'm glad that you guys just hung out, even if you didn't learn anything, which that's not good for me. Hopefully I taught you something, but I hope you enjoyed just spending some time and hanging out. And I will see you guys tomorrow, maybe. Tomorrow is the release of our final collection, so separate from Hero Studio. Hero Studio is everything that we worked with today. Hero Studio is a subscription program, but we do have releases that are completely separate from subscriptions, so you don't have to subscribe, because I know not everybody likes to do subscriptions, which I totally understand. So we do have those regular releases, and one is happening tomorrow. They're always on the 20th of the month, and our last one for 2025 is tomorrow. It's a really, really great collection. I will be doing an unboxing of that tomorrow, and I will also get a little crafty with that collection. So I hope you guys can check that out. It's tomorrow at 3 p.m. Pacific, so 6 p.m. Eastern. Hope you guys can check that out, and I hope to see you then. Bye, everyone. Oops, switched my camera view. That's not right. I didn't move my mouse all the way over to my other screen. All right, bye, everyone.